So today we're going to explain how the whole dash on the EXP series treadmills work. And the example we're using here is going to be the T1000, which is the AC drive system. And this is going to have the second generation that we call the EXP, but this would be the T1K1. So we're going to explain how this breakout board works. So here is the concept of how our processes work. You have the motor controller or the lower board, which is the inverter, and this is on all our AC treadmills, okay? You can see it's dual stacked. It has the fan in the back, and that's our AC controller. So when we go to the AC controller, motor controller, lower board, through wires is going to go to the breakout board. It does not go directly to the display or what we call the console. So the console's brains, the interpreter tells everything that goes on, it's all through our breakout board. And this is the breakout board, and it's not wired right now, okay? So we're going to go through each individual wire. I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so let's do some little explanations here so you can see what's going on. So in the handrails, you're going to have the speed and the elevation. And on the other side, which is what you normally see, this is upside down, you're going to have your buttons. Your buttons are going to be through a connector, and then the connector goes to another connector, and the wire goes all the way. Now this is going to be for the elevation. And if you see, it's the blue wire. All right, so let's take that blue wire and let's connect that. And through the elevation, and you can see with the little notches, the notches are always going up front. So you'll see there, that's connected correctly. And once we're all done, we'll throw in some silicone, okay? Now let's go to the speed. Speed is going to be the black wire. So now we have two wires hooked up, the speed and the elevation. Now the third one on the right-hand side, which is your white one, that's going to be for your start and stop. So if we flip it to the other side, this is going to be your start and stop. And that's going to be on top of this. And so when you depress these, it's going to either you have a start. So there's actually a switch here. So if you hit the middle or each side, it'll start, stop. So that's going to be here, your start, stop. And that's going to be nice and neatly the third wire. So there's your three wires on the bottom, okay? Let's now go to the right, which is going to be, this is heart rate. Now this heart rate is going to be your contact heart rate, which is your left and your right, your contact heart rate. Those wires come down here to this interpreter, if you will, and then it's going to exit through this connector, and it used to be connected and it had the silicone, so that gets connected right there. Now that one is the hardest to see because normally it's going to be right underneath here. It's hard to see, so I've separated it out for you, okay? So that's the only thing that's going to be connected to this board. And then from the contact heart rate, coming up top, the left and the right, comes down, goes through its little circuit board here, comes out, goes to this right side of your breakout board. And then that, in turn, comes across and is pre-wired. So these two little boards is connected to the big board. And this is all called, one board is called the breakout board. Now, just to show you, this is what the DC one looks like. So you'll see there's the base, there's the main brains, and there's more of the contact heart rate. So on the T401 and T801, which is the 400 series and 800 series, the second generation, the EXP, the connectors are going to be just a little bit different, so it's a different board. But that just gives you an idea because that board is now mounted here. All right, so let's start connecting a few more things. Now your telemetry heart rate, that's for your chest strap. It's picked up here, it comes around, and it connects, and it's connected right to there. And you'll see, so the flange is on the inside, okay? Now let's go to our emergency stop. Our emergency stop is normally going to be this up here that you can pull out from here. And if you look up here, there's dual. So not only do you have the micro switches here that it hits, but you also have another set in here. So there's two parts that make this emergency stop work. And they go to this connector and they go to this white. So the black and white wires are going to come right underneath the rainbow wire. See that? Right there. Boom. It's going to be connected right there. All right. Now, let's bring in the next board, which is going to be your custom speed and custom elevation. And this is going to be your circuit board. So if you flip that upside down, that's this board right here. So you could tell that's board. I was just showing you the way it works. Now the connector on the bottom of that board comes out, this rainbow wire, and that's going to go right in the middle. So it's a little bit more of a pain to get in there. Let's see if we can get it in there. There you go. So it's connected in there, and that circles around and it goes to this board, which is this one right here. Okay? So now we have a couple wires left. We're going to need the wires coming from the inverter. All right? So this is our inverter. And the wire comes to the frame, then it goes up the frame to the dash. From the dash, it comes to two wires. See this? So there are beautiful two wires. So you have 6-pin, and you have 2-pin. So your 6-pin is going to go right in the middle. Okay, so let me zoom this in a little bit. Sorry, it gets to be a mess when there's a few wires. So there's our 6-pin. And there gets to be our 2-pin. So let's zoom in there. We'll pull this wire out of the way here. There you go. So in the center of the board, right here, the 2-pin and the 6-pin goes to the side rail, which also has your grounding, and that will eventually go to your inverter. All right? Now let's talk what goes to the console. Now there's 3 wires for the EXP series, okay? So the first wire is going to be your main communication. See that? So you have an 8-pin and a 2-pin, and that's going to be connected to there. So let's take that first wire and let's connect it. So if I come down here, let's connect the big one first. See the notches? Notches are going to be facing inward. And then the 2-pin, notches facing inward. So that's going to go to the console, straight out there. Now, if you have a touch screen, either the 10-inch or 16-inch touch screen, you have to connect the second wire. Now, this wire will be sitting here all the time. So if you notice, it's a little 2-pin. Yep, there we go. Come on, let's zoom in there, buddy. Oh, well, that little 2-pin is going to be way up at the top. See that blue? So these are not used, but the little blue is where the white is going to go into. And it's going to be facing, as you could tell, on. The notch is going to be facing outward. So I'm going to face that outward, and I'm going to put that through. So that's going to be going to my console. And the third wire going to the console is going to be this ground on the new EXP series treadmills. So you have your 3 wires going to your console. And the last wire going to the breakout board. On the heart rate side, you'll see way down below. See that little pin? This is the grounding pin. And we'll connect this wire to the grounding pin. And that completes your T1000